Welcome back, everybody, to the Little Less Fear podcast, continuing with our weight loss, fitness, and nutrition journey. Welcoming Analia Romero, who is my cousin, by the way, everybody, and she has lost 95 pounds. What in the world? How did you do it? Welcome to my show.
Hello, hi Lino. Big hug. Thank you so much for
Hugs,
having
air
me.
hugs, virtual
Yeah,
hugs.
COVID times, right?
You
But
look
thank you so
amazing. I remember what you used to look like. And it's like, and then COVID happened, and then you had a baby, and then all of a sudden you're on this journey and you've lost 95 pounds. I mean, it's like, I see you on Instagram, it's inspiring, but people don't know, a lot of people don't even know how to start. So tell us how you start. How did this journey start for you?
well. I had some photos done when I graduated from undergrad when I got my music degree in Arizona, and this was a few like two years ago, and no, 2018, so 3 years ago, and then I saw the photographs and I was like, I don't want to share them. As the first time I had seen myself, and I did not want anyone to see those photographs. And they were actually very tasteful, very nice photographs. And you'll see them. You used one of them,
Hmm.
the close-up shots on the left side, my before and then my after picture. Both of those are actually graduation photos, right? So the left one is the one I didn't want to share, and the right one is the one that I had like when I graduated from my master's. So I saw those photographs, and that was my turning point. And then the words pre-diabetic had come out of my doctor's mouth.
Oh, yes.
And so those were two things. I was struggling with what I looked like from photographs that I saw of myself, and struggling with the health issues that were arising as a result of that. So that's the first instance of saying, okay, I need to change something, and something has to change with what I'm putting in my body and the habits that I have currently.
So what was the
And
first thing that you had to change? Because from what I'm hearing, it was obviously it was a baby step type thing. So what was the first baby step you took?
the first baby step I took was first asking the doctor, hey, I need some kind of nutritional help. I need help. I don't understand what it is that I need to be putting in my body. So the doctor said, well, you could talk to a nutritionist that we can provide for you. We'll just set up a meeting. And one of the things that the nutritionist had suggested, we went over what a day looks like for me in terms of what I consume and how much activity I have and what my lifestyle was like. And it was just, being honest with myself with this complete nutritional stranger and
Yeah.
saying, this is who I am, this is what I eat every day, and this is what I do physically in my activity.
The
And
great thing about that is that you asked. A lot of people are afraid to ask, and you
right.
broke that fear and you just went on for it, and that's the first step right there. That's amazing. So then what happened?
So the first thing she had suggested was, oh, you know us Latinos, I had mentioned this in the Spanish interview. We love to have our cafecito in the morning, right?
I still do.
Yeah, we love it. My coffee is like gasoline. It is so strong. So that was the first thing I changed. One habit at a time. So that's the very first habit I changed in this initial journey was my coffee. What can I do to make that coffee um, still delicious, but have way less calories and little to no sugar in it? What can I do to my coffee? And so my nutritionist suggested, okay, cut the creamers because they're not, really good ingredients for your body. So just put real milk or a plant-based milk that's not sweetened, and then a sweetener if you absolutely have to have coffee with a sweetener. And you can even put natural flavors like unsweetened vanilla, or infuse the coffee grinds with spices, which I was like, what?
Like cinnamon and
And
stuff.
yeah, put cinnamon in the grinds, or put
Yeah.
pumpkin spice in the grinds, or whatever else you want. Just put spices in the grinds, and it'll even smell better, which goes along with taste. So
True,
that
true.
was
Wow.
the first step, and it was like, okay, I can do this 1 or 2 days, and I did that, and then it became 5 days, and then it was okay. Now every day of the week, I've cut sugar out of the first thing that I put in my body, which is coffee. And
Wow.
then from there, it started to trickle down to other things. Where else in my day of eating can I eliminate sugar and replace it with something uh, that's equally delicious or close to being what I liked to have? So it was a way for me to not have to be overwhelmed of thinking, oh my gosh, there's so many things I have to change in my diet. No, it was just see how this works for 2 weeks with your coffee, and then come back to me. We'll have another meeting. We'll check in, and then we'll see what else we can implement. We'll look at what you ate those 2 weeks, and then we'll talk about that after you just focus on this one thing.
Wow, that's great.
So it's if you are a type of person that gets overwhelmed easily, don't, right? Just think about one thing you can change. And habits take a while to learn. I've heard somewhere that I think it's like a habit takes something like 21 days to learn. I don't know. Don't quote me on the
I'll
scientific
try it.
validity,
I'll try
the
it.
scientific validity of
I'm gonna
that,
write this
but
down. 21 days
yeah, it's apparently it takes 21 straight days of repeating something to
to
create a
create a
habit.
good habit.
To create a good habit, as long as it's a good habit, supposedly. So we started with the coffee, checked back in with the nutritionist, and then it started to trickle out of getting rid of sugar in other places. And then I said, okay, I think I can do this. And the next step after that, I ended up saying, okay, well, now I have some tools. Now I need accountability because I can't always check in with this nutritionist. One,
Right.
it's costly. So,
Sure.
my insurance plan at the time wasn't covering nutritionist uh, visits, which I think, this is a whole other topic, but I think a lot of companies should do that for people,
I agree.
yeah, for people who are struggling and trying to be healthy, even if it's not weight, if it's just nutritional information they need for whatever ails their body. It doesn't even have to
Right.
be extra weight, it can be anything. So uh the next step I took is I need to have some kind of accountability, and I looked into a few different weight loss programs because there's a lot of weight loss programs out
I
there.
can imagine.
And yeah, and
And
one of the
apps too, huh?
applications,
Yeah.
information, different types of style, intermittent fasting, keto, this and that. There's so much noise on the matter, and the doctor had suggested this one seems to be the most successful for people, and it's this big name called Weight Watchers. And I had actually done it before and failed miserably, so I had my doubts. I was like, okay, this doctor is throwing this at me again, and I don't know if I want to pursue this again, right?
Yeah.
And that also went with a specific mindset in order for it to be successful. Like, but I'll go back. I'll go back to that in a minute. But the next step for me was to have some kind of accountability. So Weight Watchers provided for me to go to a weekly meeting where other people who were doing the same thing as me are meeting and talking about their struggles throughout the week and their successes throughout the week. So everybody's helping each other throughout the struggle and celebrating each other throughout their successes, whether it be on the scale or not on the
So like a
scale.
group support.
Exactly, like a group support. And then there's an application where you track all of your food, and your nutrition is part of the whole process. So I got information on nutrition first, and then went to a program that was going to help me with accountability, because I know me, I'm a musician, I need accountability. Musicians sort of check in with their teacher once a week.
Yeah.
There's, oh, we worked on this song and we did these techniques. So it's the same thing for me. I need some kind of like assignment,
Yeah, yeah.
to work on. And that's what that provided for me. I had a way to gain more knowledge on food and nutrition, and then have accountability. So I would weigh in every week, and I still do. I weigh in every week, and I still go to a meeting. And even during COVID, we still met on Zoom. So you still had your ways to have those things happen during during this pandemic. So that
So
was,
when did you start
a
seeing a
big blessing.
difference? You cut the sugars, and then what happened after you cut the sugars?
Literally, the first week when I cut sugar, I lost 8 pounds. It was immediate.
Wow,
Immediate. 8 pounds in 1 week, just not eating sugar.
that's incredible.
Now I had substitutes, and yes, I did eat fruit like that because that is a type of sugar, but it was like measured and things like that. So when I committed to completely cutting sugar, because the first week I had only lost maybe like half a pound, but this is another thing. People think, oh, half a pound, that's not a lot. If you also put a visual, tangible amount to that weight, you won't think so poorly of that little bit of weight. So, for
Yeah,
example, half a pound, if you look at an entire box of butter,
yeah,
those four
right.
squares of butter, that's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that's 1 pound of butter. You've lost half a box of butter if you lose half a pound.
yeah. That's crazy, insane. That's awesome.
So if you put a value, a numeric value to the weight that you lose to something tangible, people then think, oh, a quarter of a pound is actually a lot. Is one
It
stick
is.
of butter,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
so that's always like continued motivation, and also just thinking about that. It's now it's like wow, that's a lot of sticks of butter where we're at now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. So then, what happened after cutting sugars?
So after cutting sugars and taking going into cutting my or picking a system with accountability, I started measuring all my food. Anything that was it. So in my plan, my daily food, I am not limited to anything specifically. I limit myself to dairy and certain things because of my body, what my body can handle, and allergies that I have, right? But I'm not limited. I'm not told that I cannot eat anything. I eat everything. I eat tacos. I eat carbs. I eat sugar. I eat, yeah. I know. Taco Tuesday, we had tacos. I did have tacos on Taco Tuesday. And I drink alcohol and, um, not when I was breastfeeding, but I drink alcohol and I have sugar from time to time. It just depends on what it is and how much of it I have. And everything I eat is measured. So, for example, things that are a free food, meaning I have no limitations to, are lean meat like chicken breasts and fish.
Okay.
Now, the information I was given by my nutritionist and my Weight Watchers coach is, well, yeah, you can eat all the fish you want, right? If it's a free food, go ahead and eat fish all day.
Yeah.
There's certain fish that is more fatty than others, like, for example, salmon.
Oh
Salmon
yeah.
is a really delicious fish. It's very fatty. So maybe you should weigh all the fatty meats. So salmon, maybe like halibut and shark. Those are all very. I mean, I don't buy shark and halibut, but I do buy salmon. So weigh it out to whatever I suggested serving size is, which is 3 to 4
True.
ounces. Two to four, 3 to 4, somewhere around there. So I have a food scale. So that was the next tool. I needed to make sure I had tools in my kitchen, which are measuring cups, measuring spoons, and a small food scale. So these are the three main tools that I use all the time when cooking, when eating and serving, and when building a recipe. So uh, so it was changing and cutting the sugars, getting to a program with accountability where I
And
can,
having the right tools too
and then having the
for
right
the
tools.
proper nutrition.
Yeah, for the proper nutrition. And some people say, oh, the things that I've heard, and because I used to say them to myself, I don't have time to do that.
Yeah, right.
I don't have time to. Oh my gosh, I don't want to measure this and that. And the reason I did not succeed the first time around with the same program was because, well, with anything in life, think how the results of your work is how much work you put into whatever project you're doing. We
Right.
know that as musicians and artists, the more you practice and do challenge yourself with songs, with instruments, and your practice, the more outcome you're going to have in terms of success, learning a new technique, whatever. Same thing with your weight loss. You're only
Very
going
true.
you're only going to have as much success as much work you put into whatever you want. So, and that doesn't take that's not immediate, right?
Right.
You see that when you see the success, and then you say, okay, I think I can do this, and you built your confidence. So then you start to allow yourself to do more things for yourself, like measure the bread, measure the fatty meats, measure the fruit, measure the sugar, substitute sugar for other sweeteners out there, and be brave enough to taste those things, right? And
Plus, the more weight you lose, the more energy you have to do those additional things, and then to keep going and keep going and keep going.
yes, and remember this whole thing of habits, right? The whole maybe it's 21 days, maybe it's not, but
Yeah,
once you've repeated those things, they become second nature, right?
very true.
So those behaviors, whether it's measuring, now it's like I don't even go into the kitchen, and like all three of those tools are out. I'm like visual, kinetic. If they're not out, I have to look for them, which causes me more stress, right?
Yeah.
So those tools are always out on the counter wherever I serve, cook, and build recipes. So they're always out on the counter. The measuring spoons, the measuring cups, and the scale. They're always out. And certain things don't need to be measured, like fruits and vegetables and lean proteins. So I can just kind of go at it. But,
So what keeps you motivated though? This cause like wow, 95, that's 95 pounds, that's amazing. That's an amazing, you've reached a milestone. So it's kind of like what keeps you going from now on, and do you want to keep going? Are you satisfied where you're at now? Do you have a goal to lose more, to get or to build more muscle now? I mean, what's your next goal? Do you have a next goal, or are you just taking it again
I
one day at a time?
I do have a next goal. I started off like that one day at a time, and now the goals got bigger as the successes became bigger. So, and that there have been disappointments along the way, right? So the
Sure, of course.
journey's never been perfect, but the next goal for me is to hit 100 pounds down um before Halloween, and I'm well on my way to get there.
You got this. You totally got this.
So I'm gonna get there, and I have
And then some, I bet you. I bet
yeah.
you, and then some. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guarantee it.
I'm hoping to do that before Halloween, and then I have a few more goals after that. And I think what started off was, like I said, like starting off with the coffee was goal number one, and then it was like, okay, I could do that. Now let's continue that habit, and then add this next goal, and then all this repetitive behavior becomes second nature. So even certain things I don't have to measure anymore, or certain things I don't have to calculate or do on on my application for like my program to like make with food, like certain things I memorize certain recipes, I repeat certain meals. That helps me a lot because there are days where it I'm stressed and I want to stress eat because we do
Yeah.
that, or I want to eat from boredom. I want to sit in the front of the TV and just do this, right? But having certain foods planned out for myself, and that took time to learn as well, helps reduce that stress for me. So I can sit and watch a movie, and I said, okay, I have these three things planned for snacks, and that's that. There's nothing
So
else
what do you
here.
tell yourself when you do have one of those stress days and you kind of just slip? Like, like I had my slipping day. I have like I give myself like a day a week to like just eat
Go
pizza and
crack!
ice cream and go all out. Yeah. So it's like, do you allow yourself to go all out at all or is that just done? Like, there's no,
I
that's not an option anymore.
I do allow myself to go all out on days, but I plan for it. See, now that's an interesting thing that some
How do you
people.
plan for it?
So what I'm in Weight Watchers, I eat a certain amount of food per day, and so when I'm planning for something, let's say on my birthday, I really want, like, you get all these great free things from different apps on your birthday,
I didn't know that.
like
I'll have
free
to check it out.
chocolates and free burgers and free drinks.
What? That's
Yeah, you get
awesome.
all this stuff for free on your birthday, and so I was like, let me just download all these apps and let me just get all this free stuff because I like free things. So 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 for me, um, I remember all the things that that I can have and can't have, And the things that are the most low in that are lean and filling foods and fiber filling foods that I can have that will allow me to splurge on something else later. So that's the main tool that I have, which means I do enjoy things. I don't enjoy them as often as I used to, not like every day. And if I do want to go, quote, off the rails on a day, I do, but I plan for it in the
Yeah.
previous things I eat. So everything
So you
if I
balance it out before.
Yes, I balance it out before or after. And let's say there's a day that I go on a restaurant with a friend that called me out of the blue or something, and I didn't plan to eat that much food at lunch, but I ate it. So then dinner, I'll adjust what I eat. And that also accounts for meal prepping. Meal prepping helps me a lot for when times like that. I have a
Right.
very low carb, lean protein, high fiber meal or something that then later I can splurge on something. Or if I've had a really heavy meal or something that's like full of sugar, then later I can eat that meal prep. And I've prepped for when things like that happen. So
So what about fitness? Are you doing anything about like exercising, or is this simply just nutrition and losing weight?
So for exercise and nutrition, for exercise and weight loss, that took me longer because I was like so focused because I love food so much. I was so focused on the food, and I think what I what was easiest for me to start with walking. I tried to meet a minimum of like I think it was like 6,000 steps per day, and
Whoa, that's a lot. That's like 3 miles.
yeah, on your own though, like when I would go to the university for my master's, and I had my step counter in my pocket, or sometimes I just stick my phone in my back pocket and count the steps. Just walking around campus and going from class to class, uh, every day, I would hit about 7,000 steps.
Whoa.
So it would be like just going and doing that, and then the nights that I had rehearsals with my salsa group, I wasn't sitting down, so
Right.
I go way past like 10,000 steps dancing. So, just making sure that the step counter was on, and if I was missing steps that day, I'd take the stairs somewhere or whatever. And then, so that was step one. And then just making sure, I mean, we have pools where we live, and I'm so not a runner. So I love swimming. So swimming is really easy because I
Yeah, I'm
can,
not a runner either.
oh gosh, don't make me. And plus, like
Don't
LA
make
heat,
me.
yeah, LA heat, no thank you, right?
Yeah, no way. But swimming is
So
nice.
swimming is nice, right? You can relax in the pool, everything. Okay, so you go and swim, and you've done activity for 30, 45 minutes, and you don't even know, or you can even just do light stretching and small things with your arms or whatever. Um, so walking and swimming have been really fun, and just playing music and dancing like along with the steps is like step counting slash cardio. So those were some really fun things. And sometimes I would like pick Zumba on you can do Zumba on YouTube or find free Zumba classes. There's even people who do Zumba for free on live feeds like on TikTok.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so like those are really fun because you get to like see famous people on TikTok, and then you get to follow their Zoom class, and it's like live.
So
So
how often do you participate in like physical activity?
right now, I'm always counting my steps. So every day I've either got my step counter in my pocket, or my step counter on my wrist. And so swimming right now that it's hot here in SoCal, I do it like twice a week. And then Zumba, depending on how much time I have with the baby, I'm doing that like 3 times a week. So counting the swimming and Zumbas, maybe like 5 days a week for some activity, and then and that's in between like teaching and stuff, which is more sedentary because I'm a musician and teach
Yeah,
music. So that's when I'm not moving around that much. And then so steps, swimming, and Zumba, and that's about 5 days a week.
that sounds fun too.
It is fun, right? Because you get to put music. You get to do music with all that, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
music,
for sure.
really, really fun stuff. And then swimming's outside. You can take the baby or your kids or your family, friends. That's sort of fun.
Hey, so
So,
what
and
kind of advice? Go
I didn't
ahead.
answer your question about my motivation though. And I really think what's important is
Yes.
if people think about in my weight loss group and program, we talk about our why. What is the reason, right? Your motivation. What is the reason in which you
Yes.
do
What's your
it?
why?
First and foremost, now that I've had a son, is my son. It's my son.
Okay.
I want to be healthy and live long and to to be able to keep up with him because he started walking and so he walks really fast.
Yeah,
So
and
I
you
want
have to
to
get there fast too.
yeah, so I want to be able to be healthy, to carry him, to play with him and not be tired and to live a long healthy life with, nutritionally and like my blood, all of those things. I want all those things to be healthy. So
So, what kind of advice can you give people who don't have their why yet?
it starts from inside. You have to want to make a change and never ever tell yourself that you can't because there's if you think about the reasons why you haven't done anything to that point, it's probably not even your own fault. Likely.
Right.
It's likely that something here or here
There's
is
some kind of
telling you
blockage.
no. That yeah, there's something there telling you no and not to do it or you can't. And that's just simply not true. That you can do difficult things. You can. You can do difficult things. You're here now up to this point, you know? And you're still here and you're still important and you can do it. You can do difficult things. Just continue to tell yourself you can.
And those are the wise words of Analia Romero, everybody. You can do this. Everybody, you can. There's no can't. You can do this. We are made to do difficult things. Just try, right? Just try.
Yes. Just try to have a little less fear to try,
Yeah, have a little less
right?
fear and just try it out.
Give it a
Thank you so
go.
much, Analia Romero. This has been an amazing interview. You're definitely inspiring me to keep exercising, and you're inspiring our listeners. Thank you so much. I would like to reach out to you again in the future, either 6 months to a year. I'm going to redo the series and invite the same people that I interviewed to see where everybody's at. So keep going and
Oh,
keep
that'd be really fun.
showing. What's that?
It was so wonderful. Thank you so much. I said so wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
I love you so
Thank
much,
you.
cousin. Thank you so much for being
Love you
open.
too.
Keep going.
Thank
Love you.
you.
Bye bye.
Love you too. Bye.